Bonjour, Manassikwe Indigenous cause, Beatrice Jackson. Magizi and Dodem, Minawa Laklebu. I am Tlingit, Tsimshian, and Akapna, Anishinaabe Kwayandao. Niso Medewian, Minawa, Masawinwan, we Medewian. I was born in Yakima, Washington, to Richard Jackson from Merritt, British Columbia, and Myrtle Beatrice Shelton, who was originally from Ketchikan, Alaska. My mother was born September 24, 1923, to a 17-year-old woman named Mercy Judson Suyet. At about the age of 2, Mom was stolen from Alaska and adopted by white missionaries George and Martha Shelton, and she was adopted in Seattle, Washington. They renamed my mother Myrtle Beatrice. She was trilingual, speaking Shmalyak, Tsimshian, German, Russian, and English. When I was a young girl, I remember asking Mom, "What tribe are we?" She would say, "You're a bow and arrow. Always be proud of that. You are my tribe." I was the third oldest of 12 children. Mom worked long, hard hours in canneries, hop fields, or doing migrant work. She would tell me, "Study hard in school, get good grades so you can get a scholarship, get a good job and work for your people. I don't want you to be like me." But I wanted to be like her. She was strong, beautiful, and she loved me. I didn't do well in school until Mom discovered I needed glasses to see the blackboard, and then I excelled in school. Mom was allowed to open her BIA adoption files. Her mom was Tlingit Tsimshian, and her dad was Filipino. In 1967, after I graduated from Lawton High School, I went to Anadarko, Oklahoma, to sign up for the BIA relocation program. I needed a physical exam and was given a humiliating exam by the BIA doctors. I never told my mom. I was sent to Hayward, California to Heald's Business School for Computers and Accounting because San Jose University filled their Indian quota. At age 19, I married an Army man and quit school. He came back from Vietnam, was an alcoholic and a domestic abuser. I left him with my 2 daughters, Leslie and Diana, and joined my brother Carl in Michigan. I attended Detroit Institute of Technology and held a full-time job at Channel 56 television. I worked at American Indian Services once a week, letting in the hardcore singers for song and drum practice. Soon I became a backup singer and took off on the powwow trail. When I was 25, I married an Odawa Indian, Tom Peters from Charlevoix, Michigan. We had 2 children, Laura and Olivia. I graduated from MSU and was a proud mother and a wife, but our 22-year marriage fell apart after our daughter Laura died in a car accident in 1995. In about 2010, I attended the National Indian Education Conference in Anchorage, Alaska. I was at the Tlingit History Workshop when this man, David Katze, asked, "Who is that sitting there with that Tlingit nose?" "Beatrice Jackson," I said. "Yes, but who is your grandfather?" "Ernest Judson." "Ah, Ernest Judson from Metlakatla. You know how I know? He is my grandfather, too." It was the first time I met a true relative of my mother. I discovered my cousin David Boxley from Metlakatla, a famous Tsimshian carver, through a Facebook article. I told him my mom's story about adoption and being stolen, and he was in disbelief. But I sent him all my mom's papers and our family book, Mary and Myrtle Shelton, and it was then that we decided I should travel to Metlakatla for the Founders' Day ceremony in 2016. When David met me at the airport, he gave me Tsimshian cultural books. He told me, "When you are adopted out, the chances of meeting a blood relative are pretty slim." But we were overjoyed to finally meet. I flew to Ketchikan and then caught a ferry to Metlakatla, When I saw the first glimpse of my Mother Myrtle's birthplace and the sacred waters, I was overcome with this warm feeling in my heart. It was so beautiful. At the Founders Day activity, my cousin Davy Kibiam Laka presented me to the Tsimshian community, and he said, "We will have a coming home dance for you, and someday you will be given a name." I will always remember the sound of the big hand drums, the singers' beautiful voices, and how the dancers came in. I was taught the Laklaibu wolf dance and danced with my cousin. It was so wonderful. The next day I met an auntie, Margaret Usher Bolton, who knew my mom had been stolen. Thank you to all my family and friends who helped me be with my Tsimshian Wolf Clan family, Chimiigwech. Today, I have forgiven the ones who stole my mother and changed our family's lives forever. It is not unusual for people to not know their family lineage. Native adoptees are often called the lost ones. It is sometimes hurtful not to know your lineage. There have been many stolen children and many stolen women. We have to keep hope alive, and some of their children and grandchildren will come home like I did. All my life I have tried to make good choices. I have 42 years of sobriety and education, and I'm walking the good red road. If you know you are American Indian or Alaska Native, be proud of yourself. Remember you are a bow and arrow. You are a survivor. Reclaim yourself. Be resilient and strong. Go home. Write what you know for your children and grandchildren. I am a survivor. I advocate for healing people from domestic violence, and I am an advocate for helping our missing and murdered women. I follow a spiritual path of life. That is my choice. In August 7th, 2018, I plan to travel again back to Metlakatla for Founders Day, and I will be given a Wolf Clan name. I will represent my mother, all my brothers and sisters, my children and grandchildren. We are no longer the lost ones. We have been found.
Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heart.